I caught my fiancé's betrayal on my wedding day, so I destroyed his life in front of 300 guests. The wedding dress that wasn't hers. The champagne glass shattered before Maya could even scream. Crystal exploded across white marble like her heart, into 1,000 pieces that would never fit back together. She stood frozen in the doorway of the bridal suite, her hand still clutching the bouquet she'd spent months choosing, staring at a wedding dress that hung where hers should be. But this dress wasn't hers. This dress was red. Blood red. And pinned to it was a photograph that made her knees buckle. Her fiancé Devon kissing another woman, their bodies tangled in sheets she recognized because she'd bought them for their honeymoon suite. The note beneath the photo said only 3 words: he chose me. Maya's breath came in short, desperate gasps. Today was supposed to be her wedding day. In 2 hours, 300 guests would fill the cathedral downtown. Her parents had flown in from Seattle. Her grandmother wore the same dress she'd worn to Maya's mother's wedding. The flowers cost $12,000. The venue was booked a year in advance. And Devon was supposed to be downstairs, nervous and smiling, waiting to promise forever. But forever was a lie. The phone that kept buzzing. Her phone vibrated against her hip, and Maya pulled it out with shaking hands. Text after text flooded in, all from unknown numbers. Photos. Videos. Evidence of a betrayal so calculated it must have been planned for months. Devon with a woman named Sienna Marsh at restaurants Maya didn't recognize. Devon signing papers at a lawyer's office. Devon laughing at a beach house while Maya was home planning their future. The final video made her stomach turn. Devon in bed with Sienna just 3 nights ago, the night he'd told Maya he had a bachelor party and would see her at the altar. "You should see your face right now," a voice said from behind her. Maya spun around so fast she almost fell. A woman stood in the doorway, tall, blonde, wearing a silk robe that barely covered her thighs. Her smile was sharp enough to cut glass. Sienna Marsh. In person. In Maya's bridal suite. How did you get in here?" Maya's voice cracked, but she forced herself to stand straight. Sienna laughed, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. "Devon gave me a key. He gives me everything, actually. Has been for 18 months now. You really thought a man like him would marry someone like you?" The words hit like physical blows, Maya's vision blurred with tears she refused to let fall. Someone like me? Boring. Predictable. Safe. Sienna walked closer, her heels clicking against the floor with each deliberate step. Devon needs excitement. Passion. Someone who doesn't spend Friday nights color-coding wedding binders. She picked up Maya's planner from the vanity, flipping through it with mock interest. "God, you even scheduled your honeymoon sex. How romantic." The man who couldn't look her in the eye. "Sienna, that's enough." Devon's voice came from the hallway, and Maya's heart, that stupid, stubborn heart, still jumped at the sound of it. He walked in wearing his tuxedo, looking every bit the perfect groom, except for the guilt swimming in his eyes. He couldn't hold Maya's gaze for more than 2 seconds before looking away. That told her everything. Not the photos, not the red dress, not even Sienna's cruel smile. It was the way he looked at the floor like a child caught stealing. "Devon." Maya's voice was ice now, all the warmth frozen out of it. "Tell me this is some sick joke. Tell me you're not actually doing this." He opened his mouth, closed it, ran his hand through his perfectly styled hair, messing it up the way he always did when he was stressed. "Maya, I'm sorry. I never meant for you to find out like this." "Find out like this?" The laugh that came out of Maya's mouth didn't sound like hers. It sounded feral, broken. "You mean you were planning to tell me at the altar? Or maybe after we said our vows? When exactly was the right time to mention you've been sleeping with someone else for 1.5 years? "It just happened," Devon said, and the pathetic weakness of those words made Maya want to throw something at his perfectly handsome face. The contract she never knew about. It didn't just happen, Sienna interjected, pulling a folder from her designer bag. It was very carefully planned. See, Devon here has been quite the strategist. Show her, baby. Devon's face went pale. Sienna, don't. But Sienna was already walking toward Maya, holding out papers that looked official and terrifying. Maya took them with numb fingers, her eyes scanning legal language she barely understood. Prenuptial agreement, asset distribution. Life insurance policy with Sienna Marsh as primary beneficiary, dated 6 months ago. A second mortgage on Maya's childhood home, the one her dying father had left her, signed with her forged signature. What is this? Maya's voice was barely a whisper now. Devon finally looked at her, and what she saw in his eyes wasn't love or regret. It was calculation. Cold, empty calculation. Your father's property is worth $3 million, Maya. The life insurance is worth another $2 million. I needed collateral. Sienna finished, her smile widening. For our new business. Devon and I are opening a resort in Bali. Your inheritance is funding it. Well, was funding it. It's already in motion. The room tilted. Maya grabbed the vanity to stay upright, her fingers digging into the wood hard enough to leave marks. You stole from me. You were going to marry me and steal everything my father left me. It's not stealing if we're married, Devon said, and the audacity of that statement, the sheer heartless logic of it, made something inside Maya snap. The moment everything changed, she looked at the red dress, the photos, the legal papers, Sienna's smug face, Devon's guilt that wasn't actually guilt, just annoyance at being caught too early, and something cold and sharp settled into Maya's chest where her heart used to be. It felt like steel. It felt like purpose. Get out, Maya said quietly. What? Devon blinked. I said get out, both of you, now. Sienna laughed. Sweetie, you can't kick us out. This is our venue too. We're getting married here today. Just not to you. Devon and I decided last week, why waste a perfectly good wedding? Maya's hand moved before her brain caught up, grabbing the champagne bottle from the ice bucket and hurling it against the wall. Glass exploded, champagne rained down like tears she wouldn't cry. Get out. The force in her voice made Devon actually step back. He grabbed Sienna's arm, pulling her toward the door. Let's go. We'll come back when she's calmed down. But as they reached the doorway, Maya spoke again, and her voice was so calm it scared even her. Devon, you should know something. He paused, glancing back. Maya smiled, and it was the smile of a woman who'd just discovered she had nothing left to lose. My father didn't leave me that property in a regular will. It's in a trust. With conditions that include a clause about fraud, forgery, and attempted theft. She watched his face go white. You can't touch it. You never could. Those papers you have? They're worthless. The signatures were fake the moment you forged mine. You're lying, Sienna said, but her voice wavered. Am I? Maya pulled out her phone, tapping the voice recording app that had been running since Sienna walked in. Guess we'll find out when I send this to the police, the wedding guests, and every business contact you have. Wonder how your resort funding will go when everyone knows you're a thief and a con artist. The color drained from Devon's face. Maya, wait. But Maya wasn't waiting anymore. She walked past them, still in her jeans and t-shirt, still clutching that bouquet, walking away from the wedding suite like she was walking away from a burning building. Behind her, she heard Sienna's panicked voice. Devon, do something. She's going to ruin everything. And Devon's response, desperate now, Maya, please. We can talk about this. But Maya didn't stop, didn't look back. Because she'd just realized something powerful. Revenge wasn't hot and impulsive. Revenge was cold and calculated. Just like they'd been. And she was going to destroy them both. Cliffhanger. What will Maya do with the recording? Will Devon and Sienna's scheme unravel? And what other secrets are hiding beneath this betrayal? Heartbreak and revenge. Part 2 and 3:15:57 Part 2, Heartbreak and Revenge. The lawyer, who changed everything. Maya's hands still trembled as she sat across from Margaret Chen, the sharpest attorney in Boston and the only person she could think to call. The law office smelled like leather and old books, a scent that somehow made Maya feel safer than she had in hours. Margaret listened to the recording 3 times, her expression growing darker with each replay. When she finally looked up, her eyes held something Maya hadn't seen in anyone's face today. Respect. They're idiots, Margaret said flatly, tapping her perfectly manicured nails against the mahogany desk. Criminal idiots. Maya, this recording is pure gold. We have them on fraud, forgery, conspiracy to commit theft, and emotional distress. But here's what they don't know. She leaned forward, and her smile was predatory. Your father's trust isn't just protected, it has a revenge clause. Maya blinked. A what? Your father was a smart man. He knew you were with Devon, and he never trusted him. So he built in a provision: if anyone attempts fraud against the trust within 5 years of his death, the victim has the legal right to pursue punitive damages up to triple the attempted theft amount. Devon tried to steal $3 million. You can sue him for 9. The number hung in the air like lightning waiting to strike. $9 million. Enough to destroy Devon's resort dreams, enough to ruin him completely. But there's more. Margaret continued, pulling up documents on her computer. I did some digging after you called. Devon's business partner, Sienna Marsh, isn't who she claims to be. Her real name is Sienna Markowski, and she's been involved in 3 previous investment frauds. She targets wealthy men, convinces them to invest in fake businesses, then disappears with the money. Devon isn't her partner. He's her mark. Maya felt her world tilt again. But this time, it wasn't from pain. It was from possibility. He doesn't know. He has no idea. She's been playing him the same way he played you. The resort in Bali? It doesn't exist. The business account he's been transferring money to? It's in the Cayman Islands under a shell corporation. Once she has enough, she'll vanish, and Devon will be left with nothing but debt and fraud charges. The plan that tasted like justice. Maya sat back in her chair, her mind racing. 24 hours ago, she was choosing between 2 flavors of wedding cake. Now she was choosing between 2 types of revenge, quick and satisfying, or slow and devastating. I want both of them to suffer, Maya said quietly, not just financially. I want them to feel what I felt. The betrayal, the humiliation, the moment when everything they believed in turns to ash. Margaret's smile widened. Then we'll need to be smart about this. Strategic. We let them think they've won, let them proceed with whatever plan they have. We document everything. And then, at the perfect moment, we strike. What's the perfect moment? The wedding, Margaret said simply. They said they're using your venue, your guests, your wedding. Let them. Let them stand up there in front of everyone you both know. And then we'll show everyone exactly who they are. Maya felt something warm spreading through her chest, burning away the cold hurt. It wasn't quite happiness, it was something sharper. Something that tasted like power. How? I have a friend who works in media. We'll set up cameras, make it look like a surprise documentary about modern romance. Your guests will think it's a gift from you. But what they'll actually see, Margaret pulled up a presentation on her screen, is every text message, every photo, every piece of evidence we've gathered, displayed on screens throughout the venue. Narrated by a professional voice actor. A complete expose of their fraud. That's. Maya searched for the word. Brutal. That's justice, Margaret corrected. But Maya, you need to understand something. Once we do this, there's no going back. Devon will be arrested, Sienna will disappear or face charges. Your name will be in the news. Are you prepared for that? Maya thought about the wedding dress she'd never wear. The future she'd planned, that never existed. The man she'd loved, who'd seen her as nothing but a bank account. And she thought about the recording still on her phone, proof that some betrayals were so deep they changed who you were. "I'm prepared," she said. The ex who saw everything. Maya left Margaret's office with a plan, a lawyer, and a purpose. But as she walked to her car, she found someone leaning against it, a man she hadn't seen in 3 years. Liam Cross, her ex-boyfriend from college, looking older and somehow more solid than she remembered. His dark hair was longer, his jaw rougher, but those green eyes still held the same intensity that had once made her feel truly seen. "Heard you called off your wedding," Liam said, not moving from her car. "Wanted to make sure you were okay. How did you even know?" Maya's voice came out sharper than intended. "Your bridesmaid Emma called me. Said something bad went down and you might need a friend." He finally stood up straight, and Maya remembered how tall he was, how safe she used to feel next to him. "Look, I know we ended badly. You proposed and I said no because I thought I wasn't ready for marriage," Maya interrupted, the irony bitter on her tongue. "Then I met Devon 6 months later and got engaged within a year." "Yeah, I'd say we ended badly." Liam flinched, but didn't look away. "I'm not here to rehash old wounds, Maya. I'm here because Emma said you looked like you were about to do something that might land you in jail, and I happen to be an investigative journalist now. If someone hurt you, I can help." Maya studied his face, looking for pity or "I told you so," but found only genuine concern. And something else. Something that looked like the way he used to look at her before she broke his heart. "Why would you help me?" "Because you're still the person who stayed up all night with me when my mum died. The person who believed in my writing when no one else did. And because whoever hurt you clearly doesn't know what they lost." His jaw tightened. "Also because Emma played me your voice recording, and I want to destroy those people professionally." Despite everything, Maya almost smiled. "You heard it, every word. And Maya, I have connections at every major news outlet in New England. If you want to burn their lives down, I can hand you the matches and gasoline." He pulled out his phone, showing her a screen full of notes. "I've already started digging. Devon Richardson, son of Richardson Property Development. His father's company is publicly traded. If Devon gets arrested for fraud, the stock price will tank. And Sienna Markowski, she's wanted in 2 states. There's a bounty hunter who's been looking for her for 6 months." Maya felt tears stinging her eyes, but these weren't tears of pain. These were tears of gratitude for a man she'd thrown away showing up exactly when she needed him. "Liam, I don't," he said gently. "You don't owe me anything. Just let me help. Let me be your friend again, even if that's all we can be." But as their eyes met, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in years. Not with Devon. Not with anyone. That electric connection that made her stomach flip and her skin feel too tight. The kind of chemistry that makes you question every choice you've ever made. "Okay," she whispered. "Help me destroy them." The recording that went viral 48 hours before the wedding. Maya and Liam sat in a coffee shop going over their plan. Margaret had filed preliminary legal papers. Liam had contacted journalists. Emma and Maya's other bridesmaids had agreed to play along, acting as if the wedding was still happening. Devon and Sienna, thinking Maya had broken down and run away, proceeded with their scheme, inviting guests, confirming vendors, even sending out a last-minute announcement that due to the bride's cold feet, Devon would be marrying his true love instead. The audacity of it made Maya's blood boil. "They're really going through with it," Liam said, showing her social media posts from Sienna's account. Photos of her in Maya's venue, trying on dresses, laughing with captions like "When you know," and "Better Woman 1." "Let them," Maya said, her voice steady. "Let them get comfortable. Let them think they've gotten away with it." But Liam had been busy doing more than just journalism. He'd found something else. Something that changed everything. Maya, I need to show you something, but it's going to hurt. He turned his laptop toward her, showing an article from a gossip blog dated 8 months ago. The headline read, "Mystery Woman Spotted with Real Estate Hair." The photo showed Devon and Sienna at a charity gala, looking intimate and comfortable. But it was the date that made Maya's stomach drop. It was the same night Devon had told her he was at a business conference in Chicago. There's more, Liam said quietly, pulling up another article. They were photographed together 2 years ago. At your engagement party. Maya stared at the photo. She remembered that night, the happiest night of her life, or so she'd thought. Devon had proposed with a ring that cost more than her car. Everyone had congratulated them. And in the background of the photo, barely visible near the bar, were Devon and Sienna. Their hands touching, their bodies too close. He was with her before he proposed to you, Liam said, his voice tight with anger. This wasn't an affair. This was a con from the beginning. The coffee cup in Maya's hand cracked, hot liquid spilling across the table. Liam grabbed napkins, but Maya didn't move. She couldn't. Because suddenly everything made sense. The way Devon had rushed the engagement, insisted on getting married quickly, pushed for access to her accounts for convenience, suggested she add him to her father's trust for security. He'd never loved her. Not even at the beginning. It had all been a lie. The phone call that changed the game that night. Alone in her apartment, with all the wedding gifts still stacked in boxes, Maya's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Maya Richardson? A woman's voice, professional and cold. It's Maya Chen. I never changed my name. She'd insisted on that, thank God. One thing Devon hadn't convinced her to do. This is Detective Sarah Morrison with the Boston PD. I'm calling about Devon Richardson and Sienna Markowski. We've been building a case against Miss Markowski for several months, and your lawyer Margaret Chen forwarded us your recording. We'd like to meet with you. Maya sat up straighter. You're already investigating them. We've been investigating Sienna for investment fraud, but your recording gives us something we didn't have, proof that Devon is a willing accomplice, not just another victim. With your testimony we can arrest them both. But Miss Chen, I need to ask, are you planning to attend this wedding they're having at your venue? Yes, Maya said firmly. Then I need you to wear a wire. The detective's words hung in the air like a dare. Maya thought about the scared woman who'd stood in that bridal suite 3 days ago, holding a bouquet and a broken heart. That woman was gone. In her place was someone harder, colder, and absolutely certain of what needed to happen. Tell me what to do, Maya said. The dress that started a war the morning of the wedding. Maya stood in front of her mirror wearing a dress she'd never planned to wear. A stunning black gown that hugged her curves and made her look like vengeance personified. The wire hidden under the fabric was barely noticeable, a tiny microphone that would record every word. Emma knocked on her bedroom door, walking in with coffee and concern. Are you sure about this? Maya, if you go through with this plan, there's no taking it back. Good, Maya said, fastening diamond earrings, the ones her father had given her for her 21st birthday. I don't want to take it back. Devon's going to lose everything. His father's company will tank. His reputation will reflect exactly who he is, Maya interrupted. A con artist, a liar. A man who looked at my grief over my father's death and saw dollar signs. She turned to face Emma, and her best friend actually took a step back from the intensity in her eyes. He was with Sienna before he proposed to me, before he met my dying father and promised to take care of me. He looked my dad in the eye and lied. Emma's expression softened. Your dad would be proud of you right now. You know that, right? Maya felt tears threatening, but blinked them away. Crying could come later, after justice. Let's go. I have a wedding to attend. The venue that became a courtroom, the cathedral, was exactly as Maya had planned it. White roses everywhere, string quartet playing softly, 300 guests dressed in their finest. Except the bride wasn't her. Sienna stood at the altar in a cream gown, looking triumphant and beautiful, while Devon fidgeted in his tuxedo beside her. He kept glancing at the doors as if expecting Maya to burst in screaming, but Maya didn't burst in. She walked in calmly, wearing her black dress like armor, with Liam on one arm and Detective Morrison's wire recording every sound. The guests gasped. The music stuttered. And Devon's face went absolutely white. "What are you doing here?" Sienna hissed, her mask of beauty cracking to show the monster underneath. Maya smiled sweetly. "I'm attending a wedding. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?" She gestured to Margaret, who stood near the entrance with her laptop. "Actually, I brought entertainment. For the guests." "A little surprise. Get her out of here," Devon said to the security guards, but they didn't move. Because they weren't his guards, they were detectives in disguise. Margaret pressed a button, and suddenly every screen in the venue, set up for the wedding video, lit up with a different image. Text messages between Devon and Sienna, photos of them together over 2 years, bank transfer records, forged documents, and the audio recording of Sienna admitting to fraud, playing crystal clear through the expensive sound system Maya had paid for. The guests sat in stunned silence as their perfect wedding became a crime documentary in real time. The confession that broke him, Devon's father, stood up first, his face purple with rage. "What is the meaning of this?" But his eyes were on his son, not Maya, and she saw the moment he realized the truth. "It means your son is a criminal," Maya said clearly, her voice carrying in the shocked silence. "He forged my signature to steal my inheritance. He planned to marry me as a cover for fraud. And the woman he's about to marry, she's a con artist wanted in multiple states." Sienna bolted for the side door, but Detective Morrison was faster. "Sienna Markowski, you're under arrest for fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy." The handcuffs clicked shut with a satisfying sound. Devon started backing away, but there was nowhere to go. Police officers blocked every exit. His father's disappointed face, his mother's horrified tears. 300 witnesses watching his empire crumble. "Maya, please," Devon said, and his voice actually broke. "I loved you. I did. At first. But then you loved my money more," Maya finished, "and you thought I was stupid enough not to figure it out." "I never called you stupid," Devon said desperately. "No, you called me boring, predictable, safe." Maya walked closer, and Devon actually flinched. "But you know what's predictable? Thinking you can steal from someone and not face consequences. What's boring? Your generic con artist playbook. And what's safe?" She smiled, cold and sharp. "The trust fund you'll never touch. The business you'll never build. The life you'll never have." Devon lunged at her then, rage finally breaking through his polished veneer, but Liam was faster. He stepped between them, and the punch Devon threw landed on Liam's jaw instead of Maya's face. That gave the police all the excuse they needed. Devon was on the ground in seconds, handcuffs cutting into his wrists, screaming about unfair treatment and false accusations, but the recording played on, his own voice admitting he'd forged signatures. Sienna laughing about stealing from stupid rich girls. Every damning word hanging in the air like smoke from a fire that would never stop burning. As the police led them both away, Sienna looked back at Maya one last time. "You think you've won? You're still alone. You're still the girl nobody wanted." Maya stepped forward, and her voice was quiet, but everyone heard it. "I'd rather be alone than be with someone who only loved my bank account. And by the way, Devon was never going to leave with you. I found the emails to his real mistress in Miami. You were just another mark to him too." The look on Sienna's face, the shock, the betrayal, the realization that she'd been played, was almost worth all the pain. Almost. The morning after justice, Maya woke up in her apartment to 17 missed calls, 43 text messages, and a voicemail from her mother that simply said, "I always hated him." The sun streamed through her windows too bright, too cheerful for someone who'd just destroyed 2 lives in front of 300 witnesses. But Maya didn't feel guilty. She felt hollow, like justice had carved out her insides and left her empty. Her phone buzzed again. Liam's name appeared on the screen. Coffee? You shouldn't be alone today. She shouldn't. But being alone meant not having to pretend she was okay, and Maya wasn't sure she could stomach faking it anymore. Still, she texted back. Your place or mine? Neutral ground. The cafe where you said yes to Devon's proposal. Time to replace that memory. Maya stared at the message for a long moment. That cafe was where everything had started to go wrong. Where she'd said yes to a man who saw her as a transaction instead of a person. Going back there felt like pressing on a bruise to make sure it still hurt. Be there in 30 minutes, she typed. The cafe where everything changed. The cafe looked exactly the same, exposed brick walls, mismatched furniture, the smell of dark roast and cinnamon. Maya had chosen this place because it reminded her of college, of simpler times when love felt possible instead of dangerous. Now it just felt like a museum of her own stupidity. Liam sat at a corner table, 2 cups of coffee already waiting. He'd been there first, probably because he wanted to make sure she couldn't run. When he saw her, his face did something complicated, relief mixed with worry, mixed with something else Maya couldn't quite name. You came, he said, standing up as she approached. You bought my coffee before I got here, Maya replied, sitting down. That's either presumptuous or sweet, and I haven't decided which yet. Can it be both? A small smile played at the corner of his mouth, and Maya felt something flutter in her chest. Dangerous. She couldn't afford to feel things right now. They sat in silence for a moment, both sipping coffee that was too hot and too bitter. Finally, Liam spoke. So, you're famous. Maya groaned. Please tell me it's not that bad. It's worse. Liam pulled out his phone, showing her news headlines that made her stomach sink. Heiress exposes fiancé fraud at fake wedding. Real estate heir arrested for stealing dead man's fortune. Wedding from hell, inside the revenge plot that shocked Boston. And worse, much worse, the video. Someone had filmed, Maya in her black dress, calm and cold as ice, watching Devon get arrested. It had 10 million views on TikTok, 20 million on Twitter. Her face was everywhere. I look like a villain, Maya said quietly. You look like a woman who refused to be a victim, Liam corrected. Trust me, public opinion is 90% on your side. The other 10% are incels who think you should have given him another chance. What do you think? Maya asked, and the question felt heavier than it should. Liam set his phone down, his green eyes locked on hers. I think you're the bravest person I know. And I think you're about to spiral into regret, even though everything you did was right, so I'm here to make sure you don't. I destroyed 2 people's lives, Maya said, her voice cracking. Devon's father's company lost 40% of its value overnight. His mother called me sobbing. Sienna's family disowned her 3 years ago when she stole from them, Liam interrupted. And Devon's father built his fortune on questionable land deals and displaced families. You didn't destroy innocent people, Maya. You exposed criminals. There's a difference. It doesn't feel different, Maya whispered. Liam reached across the table, his hand stopping just short of hers, not touching, but offering. You want to know what I think really bothers you? It's not that you destroyed them. It's that you enjoyed it. You enjoyed watching Devon realize he'd lost. You enjoyed Sienna's face when she figured out she'd been played too. And now you feel guilty for enjoying it because good people aren't supposed to want revenge. Maya's eyes filled with tears because he was right. God, he was always right about her. What does that make me? Human, Liam said simply. Perfectly, messily, beautifully human. The truth about what she lost. They walked through Boston Common afterward, neither of them ready to go home yet. Autumn leaves crunched under their feet, and the air smelled like rain and change. Maya found herself talking, really talking, for the first time since the wedding disaster. "I keep thinking about all the time I wasted," she said, watching a couple walk past hand in hand. 2 years with someone who never loved me. 2 years planning a future that was never real. My father died thinking I'd found someone who would take care of me, and instead I found someone trying to rob me. "Your father was proud of you," Liam said firmly. "I saw him at the engagement party, yes. I was there, hiding in the back like a creep. And Maya, the way he looked at you. He knew you could handle anything. Even Devon. You were at my engagement party." Maya stopped walking, turning to face him. Liam had the decency to look embarrassed. "Emma invited me. I declined, but then I showed up anyway, because I'm a masochist, who apparently enjoys watching the woman he loves get engaged to someone else."